I have something I want to tell you before we get into any street stuff, before we start talking about any kind of hood politics, etc. I want to confide in you and let you know that on Wednesday morning, I was penetrated by a man.
That ain't my type of conversation. Welcome to No Jumper, the Adam and Wack Show.
What's crazy about it is that I don't remember anything. I was drugged. Now, for the record, this was a colonoscopy. This wasn't just regular old.
Oh, okay. You went and got your colonoscopy. Okay.
I did. Now, what I understand is that they penetrate you. They put a camera inside your hole. My thing is, I don't remember any of it.
What do you mean?
They put the
they
needle,
drugged you or something?
Yeah. They put a needle into my hand, which is that alone was kind of disturbing. But then they snap a little thing into it that inserts a drug into my bloodstream. Immediately, lights out. I wake up, I don't know, a half hour, an hour later or whatever. My first words to the nurse was, "It's done?" He goes, yeah, it's done. You're good. And I'm like, what? So, I mean, if it's that easy to drug a man and just take his manhood,
well,
how many times has this happened to me before?
Oh, no. But that's a procedure that you need to go. I tried to go down there.
Me?
No, it's crazy. No, to go get a colonoscopy. I tried to go down there because they would say at 40 you're supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. This is my second time.
But it's crazy though, right? Because when I tried to go at 40, they said, well, you don't need to come till you 45. Right? So when I went at 45, they said, well, you don't need to come till you 50.
They want you dead.
No, some real shit. So
maybe
did you
the
go
doctors
to your,
are Crips.
You went to a private physician?
I got it done at Cedars, but it was recommended because I was actually suffering from colitis.
Well, that's why.
Yes, so
that's why, because they asked me a bunch of questions about this, that, and the other. I'm like, nah. I'll say like, all right, well, you don't need to come until you're fit. Like at 40, because I've always heard at 40 years old, all males need to go.
Right.
So when I went, they asked me a bunch of questions. Then they told me what they told me. So
I mean, I got my first one.
You had a condition.
My first one was when I was like 36.
Did you have something going on?
I think at that time, the doctor just said, this is a good idea. It's better to figure out if you got anything early on.
Yeah.
I mean, the crazy part is that I didn't eat for an entire day prior to that. It was my first time doing a full day fast, and I actually really liked it. And I'm thinking of doing more of this.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it if you did it like every Wednesday.
Oh, man, yeah. That's what I'm scared of, though, because I pretty much was sitting around all day. I didn't really, like, do much, so I'm kind of, like, wondering.
I think you should juice, though, while you fast.
I mean, there's a lot of calories in that, too. I'm trying to lose weight. That's my primary concern here.
Not if you use your natural juicer and you use
I don't think juice is as good an idea as you probably do.
No, depending on what you put in there. It's like beet juice, beet, ginger, celery, spinach. You don't don't load it up with apples, oranges, pineapple. There's a lot of sugar in that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if you use things that don't have a lot of sugar in it, that's like good for the blood.
I used to be under the assumption that juicing would be really, really good for my health, like especially if I'm trying to lose weight. And as time goes by, most people that I ask about it are really not that pro juicing. Like, it's good for you, but if you're trying to get in shape, it's a lot of fairly empty calories.
Oh.
I don't know. Either way, back to me getting penetrated. I wish you were there.
No, you're not, bro.
I wish you could have watched over the doctor to make sure that they didn't do anything weird.
That's weird. You got a colonoscopy, bro. That's not a, like, you mixing like medical shit with some weird ass kinky sexual
shit.
But
there is an underlying element of it that was kind of sexual.
What are you talking about?
When I went in, I had a boner. When I came out, I had a boner. And I really don't know why.
Bro, because I've been telling you you're a gay man.
No, I think it was the fact that there was the nurse. I felt like she was kind of feeling me. I think she knew who I was. And I don't know that she's the one who actually penetrated me, but just the conversation, just having a nice little dialogue with a young lady might have got me into the bone zone. Because that was hard. Big hard.
That's your business, man.
Yeah. What about you? No, nothing like that lately?
I don't have conversations like that with men, bro. It's gay.
I think anybody who's seen the picture of you laying face down on the bed thinks that you probably need a colonoscopy.
Who?
I'm speaking for the fans.
All men need that, bro.
Right. I just think based on that photo, it just kind of made me feel like this is a man who needs to be probed. There could be something wrong in here.
What are you talking about?
Okay, we can move on. Maybe you're not ready for this conversation.
No, I don't do gay convo, bro.
You do. You just do it in a different way.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you just act like you're not a willing participant.
I talk to my woman about sexual shit. Y'all be like doing all kind of way out shit.
Well, that is part of the thing, is that me getting the colonoscopy, it did kind of feel like I was cheating on Bricc, because typically that was the kind of stuff that he and I would do.
You know what? Bricc brought this on himself.
Yep.
Because right now, where he's at, this ain't good conversation for him.
I was just kidding. To all the prisoners, to all the J Hoods of the world watching this, I'm just kidding. Never did anything gay with Bricc.
He said it, not you.
He did say it. But that's sex play.
Yeah, but Brick's been to jail before. That's just like the Woods, they sex play each other in jail.
Bricc said the blacks
Gang
do it as
members
well.
in there? Nah, they don't.
Bricc said it's not as out of the ordinary as some people try to claim.
He a motherfucking lie. Brothers in there don't do no sex. The Crip card, the Blood card, the Paru card, the Muslim card, they do not. The Christian card, don't nobody.
You haven't been locked up in like 30 years.
It don't matter.
Things might have changed.
30 years before I got locked up, the rules were the rules. The time I was there, the rules is the rules. And the time I haven't been there,
things have got a lot gayer, I'm guessing.
Nah, I'm sure.
There's a lot more.
It could be, but the straight people, they don't do it. But again, Bricc, he isn't straight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's kind of like bi. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe his sense of humor is going to change while he's in there, and he's going to like get word of me making these sort of gay jokes about him while he's in there, and he's not going to be feeling it. But as far as I know of him, I feel like he would appreciate it. He would like to know that I'm still keeping this sort of thing alive. Anyway.
Are you putting some on his books?
Sure. You just said that.
What?
Well, you just ran down on Flacco and gave him a big old bear hug, which is interesting because he's got a variety of conspiracy theories about you. And
you should call him in here, bro.
He's on the news right now, but he seems as if.
What's the conspiracy theory? I don't see.
He thinks you're losing your mind, and he thinks that you might snap and do something to him. His words.
I'm losing my mind. Why does he think that?
He says that you seem angry, irrational, that he just feels like you're kind of on the verge of doing something crazy. And he didn't say it, but it feels like the suggestion is that maybe this is because of the stress that the Big U Rico is putting on you, since you might feel like, since you were so wrapped up in so much of his dealings, that maybe you're next on the feds platter.
What do you mean dealings?
Like I'm watching Rich Homie Quan, and he's talking about how when rest in peace, that when he had to come to LA and check in, that it was like you and Big U sort of two men in the situation.
We was having a conversation
about checking in.
No, I was already up there having a conversation. Again, he pulled up. See, y'all got it. This was crazy. When it come to me, you motherfuckers seem to catch amnesia when somebody's telling the story. He said he landed at LAX. Whoever picked him up, whoever he was with, told him we need to go to Crenshaw High. He said, oh, okay, that's the blue side. So I don't know Rich Homie Quan. I don't know. I just know him really knew his mama.
You were at the football game talking business with Big U.
No, we were in the parking lot having a conversation. He pulled up.
To check in.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, that ain't my neighborhood.
Right.
So he ain't pulling up for me. It wasn't like we were scheduled to meet Rich Homie Quan that day.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So he pulled up, and I seen him, and I never forget it. I'm going to tell you why I remember it. Because at the time, I used to confuse him and Young Thug.
Okay.
Right?
Typical unk mistake of that era.
So when he pulled up, they all got out the car. Everybody dapped each other up. I'm kind of like letting them do their thing because whatever he come to do, I don't know what he came to do. And he didn't lie. He wanted him to go out there, I guess, with the kids. On the football field. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The kids in the ghetto, they don't see a lot of that shit. And that was all that was. But I don't, him saying that, I think he added to the conversation saying you flew in here and you staying here and staying there because those elements don't fit what he was there to do. That's kind of like, you kind of like issuing a threat. You know what I'm saying? When you telling somebody you staying here and your driver is this person and this, that, it's kind of like, you kind of like issuing like a silent like threat. But I think he added that to it. And that's the conversation we need to have today. That a lot of these podcasts and when people get caught up in conversation, some of it be tainted with some real shit, and then a lot of it be tainted with some bullshit.
You're saying people make up stories, inflate stories to make them crazier? Think about
it. You land, right?
Yeah.
Whoever he's with already done had conversations with Big U. Bro, we come in, we gonna pull up on you, right? So me knowing him, he like, what time y'all get in? Hey, bro, we coming that way. What time y'all get in? Cool, pull up on me. I'll be at practice with the kids.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing it play out. That'd be cool for the kids. Nephew could come over here and, come out there for the kids, right? This had to have been 2015-ish era.
Yeah.
Something like that. So if he actually came in, right, and went straight to Crenshaw High, jump out, Big U like, oh shit, y'all really here. What's up, nephew, whatever. I bagged up, what's up, homie, what's up? Now he knew who I was. At that time, I remember, I confused him with Young Thug. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Right? So he said, yeah, man, you cool with going out here, with the kids? They out there, they gonna go crazy. They fans. He like, yeah, sure, cool. So he went out there and walked with the kids and they did their shit. So why in that situation would a person go having a conversation about motherfucker know who you staying at, who your driver is?
I think it's at least in part because
it don't even make sense.
Much like Big U, you've kind of gone into detail about a variety of situations that a lot of people are conflating with extortion at this point.
What do you mean by that? What you mean?
It's been supposed, and we don't have to get into the details of every single one of these situations, but it's been, you basically said in the past that Oscar De La Hoya was paying to not have his nude photos or zesty photos released.
Stop right there.
It's been said that that you were talking to Nipsey's family about the gay tapes of him not coming out. I don't know if there's money involved in that. It's been suggested that maybe Kim Kardashian at one point or Kanye, that they were doing stuff for you so that you didn't release more sex tapes of her.
Okay. Now, let's start with the first one.
And when academics kind of tried to bring up some of this stuff on the podcast, you got very irate and you were really kind of screaming at it.
Because y'all dumb.
See, right there.
You're a dummy too. I gotta call you a dummy.
Okay, but
because I'm gonna show you.
But starting with the name calling makes you look more guilty.
No, I'm gonna show you why. Oscar De La Hoya. If you listen to the conversation, I clearly state this is what the attorneys worked out. See, the minute the attorneys are involved, right? This is not extortion. This is a business deal. Oscar then talked about it openly on Club Shay Shay. Right? So the minute you get attorneys involved, see, if you have something, right? That's yours. It's yours. And you got the consent to have it.
Okay.
And you like, hey, bro, check this out. This is really pertaining to you. Hey, attorney such and such, contact his attorney, tell him if he wants to take possession of this shit, right, to where I don't use it, let me know, right? He calls his attorney. They negotiate what they negotiate. They draw up their paperwork, right? He never one time talks to Oscar De La Hoya, right? There's never conversation between the two. The minute you get attorneys involved in these type of situations, that's not an extortion, right? So we're going to Kanye next, right?
Sure.
This started on Bootleg Cab, did it not?
I don't remember.
Bootleg Cab said, what's up with these extra tapes I've been hearing about? I said, yeah, it's a couple extra tapes. He like, what you gonna do with them? I said, we would never do anything with them but give them to Kanye. That's what was said, right?
Okay.
You can pull it up, right? So guess who calls me?
The Kardashians.
Kanye.
Oh, Kanye, okay. Yeah.
Wack, what up, bro? Man, I seen boom, boom, boom. Yeah, is that real? Yeah. Well, how could I? You said, okay, cool, I'm gonna put you with little bro, y'all, Yeah, send him to the airport. Bro, grabbed it, drive, went to the airport, gave it to him.
Okay.
Where do you see, where's the extortion?
Maybe some of that stuff is above board, but I think that a lot of people are assuming that if you were doing all this type of stuff, then maybe you were also hitting up the food vendors outside of Crenshaw High like Big U.
No, stop right there. What type of stuff have I done? Everything I just laid out to you was either it was a business deal or it was a man keeping his word and just saying, here.
Mm-hmm. But you realize most people don't monetize their life in such a way. I'm not saying that there's anything inherently illegal about it, but most people don't obtain sex tapes and then profit off of not releasing them, lawyers or otherwise.
No, the profit came after the initial release. That shit been out since like 03.
Which, the sex tapes?
04, yeah.
Well, the original one, yeah. But you supposedly had more.
Yeah, but again, and then Kanye went on a show and delivered the drive.
Mm-hmm.
Has anything ever come out?
Not yet, but Kim K's an op now, right?
She ain't my op. She ain't ever did nothing.
Well, she's Kanye's op, and you're Kanye's homie, right?
Well, that has nothing. That's his ex-wife, bro. That's the mother of his kids. But if you look at the bootleg Kev show when he asked me about it.
He seems very upset with her.
No, when you asked me about it, he said, bro, what y'all can make so I said, we would never do that, bro. Like, and at this time, I wasn't even, I knew Ye, we talked time to time, right? It wasn't no like, that's my partner at this time, right? I said, just sitting over in the safe. Like, we ain't got no, he got kids by her. Like, on some real shit, we'll just give it to him. You wouldn't, absolutely not. Like, he asked me that on the show.
Okay.
So Ye called my phone. That nigga called me. Right? Hey, boom, boom, boom. I said, yeah. He said, I seen it. That's real? I said, yeah. I said, how could I get it? I said, I just had a little bro bring it to you because I don't want to have that discussion with him because that's his, you know what I'm saying? That was his wife.
So there was never a time where Big U said to you, hey, this weed shop, they owe me 20 grand. Can you go grab it?
I never did that type of business with him. I'm going to be real. I've never, ever seen him personally. I've never seen him take nothing from nobody.
Okay.
I got a lot of people that's close friends of mine that I may see once every 6-7 months.
Right.
I don't run with nobody every day. No human being do I run with every day.
You were doing your own business with him.
I had my trucking business going on, my music business going on, my real estate business going on. Y'all got to remember, we was trying to bring him into the fold to help him find a lane for him.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? That's all that was. We was positioning the table, different Crips, Bloods, of Power Rules from different sections, right, that we feel could be a voice, a prominent voice on the West Coast who wanted to be part of the music industry. Those of us that had certain plugs and connections, right?
So you were trying to bring him more above board.
That was our only movement, right? And everybody would tell you, the dudes from Long Beach, if you pull up Bridging the Gap, that's Wack bringing K Slay out here because we had lost all our radio out there. Me and K Slay built the bomb, but I didn't keep it to myself. I brought him out here, took him to all the different neighborhoods, allowed the rappers to exchange numbers with Slay, and then they built with Slay. They did mixtapes and did shit. And boom, so vice versa. So when Slay needed things for Papoose at the time out here, it was just a phone call and we made it happen. So we was trying to rebuild the bridge that should get burned down. Because at this point in time, it was like they was over there and we was over here. It really wasn't nobody conversating.
Okay.
So we came up with this Bridging the Gap thing. And that's how that started. But all the business, the real estate business, I did when we helped him with his home. The Nipsey Hussle business, Gang spoke on that on Vlad. What else did we help him do? When he started to build the Crenshaw Coach organization, me getting my artists to post the signups. Scooty, about this time, Scooty bikes was hot. So us having Ray J show up on the flyer, Ray J's coming to give away a free Scooty bike to the whatever. Everything we did with him was business. And I'm going to be real. Anybody that know Big U, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Part of his problem I had with him about the music business is I would tell him, yo, such and such sign the artist. He like, bro, I only want to sign people from my area.
Right.
Big U's a dude that's big on his area. And I'm going to be real with saying that, I think Big U only would do this type of shit with people from his area. If you look at the indictment, everybody is from his area.
Right.
I don't think Big U trusts to go outside his bubble to do any type of criminal acts.
Because that's why extortion has become so much less popular over the years, is because people are more willing to go to the cops. The cops take it extremely seriously. So the real primary candidates to extort are people who are doing illegal business, like a sort of black market weed shop makes sense, a strip club, who knows what kind of stuff they got going on. You can extort a drug dealer because they can't really go to the cops in the same way. You know, like people always kind of assume that like Jumper has been extorted, but nobody's going to come to us and try to extort us.
Somebody asked me that last night.
Because what am I going to do? I'm going to call the cops.
Somebody asked me that.
Quickly, your whole operation is going to fall apart.
First of all, let's be real. Unlike a marijuana shop, there's no money on hand here.
That too, yeah.
Your money comes from
cash helps.
Yeah, dog. That like so. There's not like so. When it comes to that, like when I was reading it or Prince was reading it, you know what I mean? It was kind of like, see, because I know the time frame and I know what I'm hearing. It was kind of like when I bagged up from him, right? He went back to his old roots. Because I'm going to be real, a lot of the people was against me bringing him to the table.
Because they thought he was shady? Or
they were scared of him. They thought he was shady. They like, yo, Wack, fuck dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of my people was against it. And that's why you never hear his name tied to nobody else's name like it was mine. Because they dealt with him when they had to.
Right.
I was a dude that went and got to know his family.
Trying to be a real friend.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I go to his crib,
build
he
a real
come to my crib,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to know his family and, you know, whatever I could do. I would show up, certain funerals and things, you know what I'm saying? People I had met like Sandman and people I done been to a couple funerals. I've been to his mom's house, you know what I'm saying? I met his pops. So it was kind of like we kind of had a brotherhood going on. But once again, at this time, 8 out of 10 conversations when I got a call from him, was him calling me because somebody was on his phone pertaining to business. So what he did turn into, what we did help him turn into, was a magnet. He was a magnet name. If you could get to him, you can get it done. Everybody couldn't get to me. I didn't talk. If I wasn't dealing with you, I didn't talk to you. But if you could get to Big U with an idea you got that something Wack could help with, Big U will call, hey, little bro, what up? Man, I got such on the phone. They trying to do this, that, and other. At that point, Big U job was done because he didn't know. He would never really take the time to understand how to do it. His whole perception is if I got the people around me to know how to do it, and I bring the people that want it, then I'm part of it anyway. You get what I'm saying? And he knew with me, because I was generally trying to help him, I would never request anything from it. I would just get on the phone, what is it? And then whoever it needed, I make the calls and put it together, and then he'll run with it. It's a lot of things he did minus me, like his thing with the ball players. Now that was what he built for self.
What are you, just him
like
football
like the relationships with like Draymond Green, shit like that. Now Shaq, that was us. That was actually Stutterbox. That was the Stutterbox and the Wack thing, right? I remember one time, I believe it was in Houston. He had just come home, and he was standing outside All-Star Weekend or whatever, and nobody would let him in. Nobody knew who the fuck he was.
Right.
But Box at the time was moving real strong with Shaq. Box seen him and pulled him in. That was Shaq's first interaction with him because Box was Shaq's right-hand man.
Do you think Shaq left L.A. because of the gang politics, a.k.a. Big U fucking with him?
No. Shaq was already gone. Time Big U come on, Shaq was already on fucking Star Island.
Okay.
Yeah, he was already on Star Island. He was already back in Florida. He had the big crib in Orlando. And Shaq ain't never been ran out of nothing, man. Like, everybody loves Shaq. Like, Shaq It's just, that's family with everybody.
But that part of the indictment where they're basically talking about how a bunch of NBA players got scammed by another player.
Okay, stop.
And then he makes them like hand over $100,000
Shaq was one
each
of
to
the first
him and
people-
shit.
Because I was doing a lot of business with Shaq at the time. He was one of the first people to send over the 40-foot trailer, like with the toys and stuff, to give away for like Christmas.
Okay.
So you got to understand, like, when a guy like Shaq looks up, yo, Shaq brought snow to Watts. You know that?
Yeah, the snow machine or something?
He brought the snow to the projects. He went over there, and they was like, yo, we want to see the snow. So he somehow had them go up there to the mountains, get a bunch of snow, and bring it in and just put snow all through the projects.
You could pay people to just pull up with like a machine that makes snow.
No, he had them go up to like Big Bear or something.
The real snow.
And get the snow. So whenever you come to a lot of these guys and they see like, okay, you doing something for the kids, and you can visually see he's giving his stuff away to the kids, right? They don't mind being a part of that. The dude that spray ground backpacks, that's my guy. He gave you one, I believe, 5 years ago.
A backpack?
You was hanging with Big U late night somewhere. He gave you a backpack, a white one.
A white backpack.
You had a red hat. He said you're the only white boy.
You saw that?
With a red hat. Right?
That was at the T.I. and Young Thug video shoot, which now, in retrospect, I'm thinking, what kind of arrangement was struck that would allow these guys to shoot this video?
We put him with T.I.
That was in Hollywood, too. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
What I'm saying is, like, even that's a plug that come through us. He's a Muslim brother. If you go back, I did an exclusive spray ground run with red spray ground back with Game. We did the giveaway at all the shoe palaces.
I'm surprised that Big U didn't make me pay to wear that red hat.
Nah, he was just bullshit. He don't care about no gang banging like that.
You know where that was, though? That was at that one studio where everybody makes jokes about it because it was used in one of the Batman movies. It's got all like the panels with the lights
That's on the east
ceiling.
side.
Yeah.
On the east side. Yeah, I know exactly. I filmed over there before. So you got to remember, like, I don't read what I'm reading. I've never seen him operate in that capacity.
Okay.
But that just goes back to the stories you hear. But who is he? Oh, he did boom, 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 boom. So it just looked to me like he went into survival mode and start. I know the dude, the dispensary owner.
Oh, okay.
I've done business with him.
Okay.
Like he would call. I think the last thing I did, I booked Sada Baby for him downtown. But he called me about October. He like, bro, you know what? With you, bro, it was always straight business, man. I give you the money, you make sure the people there, and boom, boom, boom. So, when it comes to weed and all that type of stuff, I shy away from it. I really don't like to deal with it because it's not approved on the Fed side. But a lot of stuff I'm reading, and some of it I still I'm kind of like, it's missing some pieces. I can't see him. I can't see Big U shooting a kid in the face that once lived in his house, right? Over a diss song.
Because there has to have been so many different times over the years, even since he's been free, in which he would have had much better reason to clap somebody than that situation.
No,
like that just doesn't seem like it would have risen to the level of being.
Let me tell you,
if he killed that kid, he probably should have killed like 20 other people.
No, listen. Let me tell you what he would do.
Okay.
If the kid had did a diss song, right, and he heard it, at his age, he would have brought one of his little homies over there to fade him.
Right.
Okay, how do I know this? Nipsey dissed him.
Right.
What did he do?
The first song?
He brought one of his homies over there to fade him, right? Or he would have did it, right? But if he little dude, he just gonna bring one of his little homies over there. So this is why. And
that guy is not a threat. That kid, rest in peace, Ray Sean, he's not a threat enough to require killing him. Why don't you just beat his ass? Punch him in the head a couple times to get the point across.
Because I've already disrespected the family because I'm going to be real. I don't know if you listened to the call. When I got the call from these people, right, I'm thinking it's some troll motherfuckers. And I'm going to tell you why. First thing, whenever I ask you a question, I already know the answer. I just want to see what you're going to say.
Okay.
So the first thing I say is, yo, when this happened to your brother? She says 2022. I know it was 2021 because I read the shit.
Right.
So right then and there, my mind is like, okay, well, let me see where it goes. So then I'm like, oh, what you mean they had to get blood? Like, you know, they swab us before we get out of prison, right? So then she says, they found it under the nails, right? So I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, if they found some DNA under some nails and it's this dude, ain't no way they letting him run around for 3-4 years, right? So I let her keep talking. So she says, my mom such and such, right? So she puts the mom on the phone. So when the mom comes on the phone, I'm gonna show you this, right? She goes into her thing. The mom immediately says, oh no, it's been 4 years. Okay. This one I thought they was really cap. When she says, between me and you, the cops don't want nobody to know, but this, that, and other, right? So I'm telling myself, the cops don't tell no motherfucking body when they coming to pick somebody up.
Right.
Right? So then I get this text.
Hey, this is Rayshawn Williams' mom. I didn't want to ask you this because I don't like asking people for anything, but I do need your help. Me and my daughter have been homeless for the past 3 months, sleeping in my car. So if it's possible, could you please help me at least get a hotel room for a couple of days? I really do need the help.
So now you know what I'm thinking.
It's cap. It's a scam.
It's cap. It's a scam, right? Yeah. So at this point in time, I'm going to be real. I watched Big U on about 3-4 occasions go side with some motherfuckers that's running the narrative on me that he knows ain't true. Right? And because it's his voice, it makes it seem like it might be some truth. So I tell 600, hey, bro, these motherfuckers is capping. They thought they was going to run a sob story on me and get some money out of me. The motherfucking sister don't even know what year the boy died, which is odd. Anybody lose somebody that close, you know the time, date, the year, you know that shit.
Hell yeah.
Right? And I said, as soon as, and the mom is lead me to believe, shh, I'm telling you some exclusive shit. Because the police not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why. You may want to do something to this dude. So if the police tell you we coming to get him this month, that gives you your flight time to go kill this dude. It's a million reasons why me dealing with life, I'm like, man, ain't no motherfucking police for the
They gather all this information and they choose to let it out with one massive flood. Obviously, the Fed, the indictment in the rolling 60s, this is all shit that they had ascertained over the course of many, many years. They gather it all up, and then they drop it.
Yeah, but so I got a lady, the daughter or the sister, don't know the year the boy was killed. I got a lady trolling, faking like she's like telling me some exclusive shit. So you know what I did? The same way Big U went over there with these dudes with this CS2 back shit, what made it look real, which in the long run is gonna help me because that's a great lawsuit. Like that shit's finna pay great, right? You're
gonna sue Big U?
No, I would never sue Big U. I sue LA Media World Star because Big U. You notice as of about 18 months ago when I said I'm suing them behind them putting that up. You don't see Big U talking to World Star shit because when World Star doubled back and said, hey, where's the paperwork to support this? He like, I don't got none. We was just, he like, well, dude got a big ass law firm. They coming at us. They not playing. They demanding some serious fucking money. This dude's a public figure.
So this lawsuit is still in the works?
What? This gonna be great.
Oh, shit.
This gonna pay off like 2 of my cribs.
We got a harmonious man on our hands here.
So the same reason why Big U went over there was some shit that he knows a lie and ran the narrative. I thought about it. I said, fucking 600. They lying talking about this football kid that used to play for his organization. That ought to strike a nerve with some of them parents over there, right? It ought to piss him off, right? Let's run it up, right? Because at the time, I'm thinking that's cap.
Okay.
I'm thinking, come on, man, you don't know what year the boy was killed. It's your brother. You talking about the police and told you some shit that I know police not gonna tell you. They not gonna tell you for this reason right here. So in my head, there's no way this shit is. And then you hit me up for the money right afterwards, right? So in my mind, it's capped. So we run murder. I'm like, how could I like turn it into content? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's content, right? I get 100 calls a day, motherfuckers telling me shit. You heard me listening to some of your office. That's just shit coming through random, right? About that. I don't know if it's real or not. So at this point in time, I'm like, all right, Tink runs murder mystery. I'm gonna let her run the murder mystery, read the news shit, and then we're just gonna plug this into it. So here it comes. 600 starts to panic. He says, bro, they like think I got it from the police. I'm like, well, just run the narrative, man. Tell them motherfuckers, shit, don't look at it like that. Look at it like, shit. Why are you looking at it like I'm running a narrative for the police? It could be looked like that I'm looking out for the streets. It could be looked at all kind of ways, right? So now 600, I ain't gonna lie, he got a little nervous because they start coming at him with the, why you running this shit? You get what I'm saying? This is why I don't know if you noticed, I kind of been going overboard with trying to like take some of the heat off of him.
Oh, 600.
Yeah.
Well, he seems like he's leaning into it. He's riding around with a badge on.
No, but that's what I told him. I said, at this point, bro, the other shit ain't working, so fuck it. You know, that call with the police saying come down to the station, that's not real.
Oh.
That's his homeboy that recorded something.
Okay.
And he's just playing it. But to the world, it's real, right? So, you know, at the end of the night, it shocked me when they called me that morning, talking about the feds and all this shit. I was like, and then when I read what I read, that shit, like I don't know that Big U. I can honestly say on some real shit, and I'm treading lightly because now that I know, and the reason why I know the lady's real now, because somebody called me a day ago and said she did a TMZ interview. So I know if Harvey's interviewing somebody, he done did his due diligence on who people are. So I don't know what the lady looks like, but whenever it comes out, we'll be able to see. This Big U that I'm reading about on the indictment, I don't know him.
You haven't seen him strong-arming random people and whatnot?
I actually seen him break himself.
What's that mean?
He would spend his last on the kids.
Okay.
You know how much that dude used to charge the kids?
What?
$100.
For what?
To play football.
That's
that
cheap?
Don't even cover 20% of what that costs.
Right, that makes sense, yeah.
So what he would do is he would call everybody he knew. Hey, bro, boom, boom. Like, I've wrote checks for like, he'd be like, yo, 9U short, 18 shoulder pads and 6 helmets. How much that cost? $2,500. I write the check to Crenshaw Coats, 9U, whatever, right? So the Big U, I know when it comes to kids, has always been like, he was on a mission to get a count to how many kids like he could get going to college and shit like that, right?
So if I had asked you a month ago or a couple months ago, what percentage of money that is being donated to Big U and his charity is actually being spent on charitable stuff?
I would have thought 100%.
You would have thought 100%. Wow, okay.
Because not outside of the football shit, right? Let me tell you what else he does. The kids, you got a kid. I seen this because it's like a continuation school down there or something. I think it's a place where they got the Nipsey basketball court. Okay. I went down there before with him to talk to the kids. There's one kid, he like, yo, man, why you keep fighting? We got you in the continue. Why you keep fighting? He like, man, they be talking about my clothes and talking about my shoes, right? And when we left, he said, man, I feel him because, you know, I always had big feet, so I couldn't really get all the different shoes everybody had. So I would see him go in his pocket. Because I remember one day we went to like Men's Land in the Slauson, in the Fox Hills Mall. And we went in there and the shoes, he said, what kind of shoes you want? And the shoes he wanted, they was like $600 shoes. So when we went in there, he told him like, hey bro, these ain't for me. Can you work with me on the price? Because they for a kid that a distressed kid. So I would see him go in his pocket and do that. I would also see him like go buy people's family groceries and shit. Like if you would have asked me, like just one-on-one, like Wack, when I'd have been like, nah, that type of shit he does.
So you're saying
this shit right here, I'd have brought a bet everything on worth that none of that's going
So you're saying you considered him a philanthropist and overall like a guy who was giving, but also not a great businessman and definitely not a master criminal. Because when you look at so much of this stuff, it's like if you want to embezzle funds from the government under the guise of COVID relief or whatever, I assume there's a way to do it that would not put such heat on you.
Well, this is the thing. I met Big U in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Big U that went to prison, really embraced Islam, and he had already, from my understanding, created developing options from prison.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? His son that played for the Chargers, he was made in prison on a family visit. You get what I'm saying? So the Big U we met, he came trying to understand and figure out some business.
Right.
We didn't meet a Big U gang banging. You know, and that was one of the first riffs at the table. He went on somebody's platform. Breakfast Club, he went to somebody's platform and said, if he would have been out, Death Row couldn't operate.
He said that on Vlad. I was just about to ask you about that.
That was my phone lit up. Wack, what's up with this? What's
he said
up with
if he was free, there wouldn't have been no death row, which is kind of a wild statement because how would he, no matter how powerful he was, how would he have been able to stop Suge Knight, who operates on completely different politics, from signing artists? Now, he did sign a bunch of Crips and whatnot.
You're not hearing me. Listen to me. I told you earlier, I got blowback from how close I was getting to him. First, it was even letting him come to the table of business, because our whole movement was, can't nobody make no money with war going on. So if I got these artists and I'm beefing with you, and every time we do a concert or a club or a video shoot, y'all showing up, shooting it up, and then when we hear you doing something with yours, we doing the same, ain't nobody benefiting from that. So it's like, okay, you got what artist? Cool. You got so if it came, let's say Big U had T.I., right? But we put him with T.I. If a problem came up with somebody was like, hey, we want to book T.I., or hey, we got an issue with T.I., instead of that individual approaching T.I., they'll just talk to him, and then we'll let Big U go talk to T.I., and they find resolution. So this is why from like 2008 to about 2018, 19, you wasn't hearing video shoots getting shot up, niggas getting robbed at the studio. You saw an increase of Crip and Blood concerts through K-Day. That's where SKG come from. You know, my man AD, to where now we got Crips and Bloods on the roster. Backstage, we got 100 gang members, niggas beefing, but it's all love because everybody there is tied to somebody at the table. Let everybody get their money, everybody stay safe. And so now people was running into people and it was all love. So that's what we was doing. I tried to, every meeting I had, well, my Korean act back down, I was doing business with a dude named Johnny Yee out of South Korea. I took Big U to the meet, not because he was part of it, because I wanted him to hear it. So now you know if something pops up, we have a resource over there. He might be in New York and they're like, yeah, Big, we trying to do this in South Korea. Know what he gonna say? I can get it done. He'll just call me on the phone with this dude and we work it out. But this what I'm reading, what I just heard last night, I don't know that guy.
Based on what I'm hearing from a lot of people, I haven't personally read through the indictment, but everybody I know who has spent some time reading the indictment has basically texted me and said, Big U is fucked.
They had like bugs in places, I guess, where they thought it was safe to talk at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
People worry about their phone. They don't worry about there being a bug in the room. Like, this is fucking
it's
good,
a lot
fellas.
on there. It's a lot on there, and it's a lot of people that gave statements or whatever, right? But I've never, me and Big U never sat down and said we're gonna go extort this dude or rob this dude. It was always a conversation on how can we fix a problem. This is going on. Hey, bro, don't you know such and such? Yeah, can you give him a call because such and such called, said this is going on. Let's see if we can work it out. That's what we was doing. It was called, the movement was called Bridging the Gap. And you know, and I would give my plugs. We all shared our plugs. Like, I met Marley Marl through Big U, right? Because it was no different than, yo, Marley, this is my brother Wack, this Marley. Y'all exchange numbers in case y'all need each other. This is what Wack does. This is what Marley do. I got a platinum record out of Marley, right? K Slay and a few other my people. Big U met directly with me to where they didn't have to call me to talk to each other. Because if we all moving as one, you know we moving as one, right? So, but I'm not saying it didn't happen because that'd be a disrespect to the family. I already did that because I thought they was trolling me with the initial call.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way if I knew they was real, I would have did that. I just thought they was bull. I got a sister that don't know the year her brother was killed. I got a lady claiming to be the mama telling me the police told me they gonna do this. And I'm like, lady, ain't no police telling you when the they gonna go, because I know it's putting dude in jeopardy. It's putting him in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying?
But a sympathetic officer, detective, or whatever could mention casually.
It's not practical though.
It's not something I would consider normal. But you know, if he felt for the parents, he maybe wanted to kind of tip them off on what was going on.
Yeah, but see, this is the reason why they don't do that.
Yeah, because
the parent could go tell somebody, and then it comes out, or they may have the mindset, we want to kill this dude ourselves.
Well, the feds were probably at least a little bit annoyed because the RICO seemed like it was maybe a little bit rushed. Like they probably would have appreciated a little bit more time to get this together, but instead it's all being talked about on podcasts and shit so much that they probably felt like they had to kind of rush in.
Thing, like, we didn't believe what they was talking about was real.
Right.
You telling me?
Yeah, right. Though you and fucking 600 you sat across from me and told me straight up that this was going to happen, and then it happened. And 600 was even earlier on making Instagram videos about it.
We running our narrative off of the record. We just pressing play.
Right.
Same way he ran his narrative on me when he sat up there with all these other people. Stutterbox called me the other day. He said, "Wack, I feel bad." Even though we got our issue.
The only problem with it was...
He said, even though we got our issue, the dude called me and asked me to do that. Because that ain't... Box don't do media. He said, bro, Big U called and asked me to do that. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, this fool was really like, trying to run it. He was trying to run a narrative on me. So you got to remember, right now, you got some people out there, Joe Budden probably being one of them, a few of these other little podcasters that they just said some shit, right? And you probably can say some shit back, but it ain't strong enough, right? But the minute you get some bullshit, whether it sounds true or not, if you get a group of people and this what they pushing it, you're going to run with the narrative. Because 10% of the people, regardless, they can come out and say it's fake, they still going to believe it. 10%, if not more, call me CS2 back every day.
But
hold on, let's be real, right? Am I right?
People are still rolling with that.
He ran his play. So when I'm running my play, I'm really trying to antagonize him with his sign-ups. I know football season is coming up.
Wanting to with the football players.
Bro, once you firing scuds at each other, bro, it ain't about if it's real or not, if it's right or wrong or not. It's just about, is the shit going to be effective? This is social media, bro. Come on, we sit up here with people to where they be telling their stories and we looking at each other like this motherfucker lying like a motherfucker. But we still ask them questions about their lie that we think, you know why? Because it's interesting to the viewers.
But the only problem is that when you and Luce are sitting here telling me that Big U's about to have this murder put on him, this is coming after the initial allegation that Big U had advanced knowledge that Nipsey was going to get killed. And then even beyond that, Luce sat right here and told me that basically that Eric Holder was about to make a statement. He basically insinuated that Eric Holder was going to tell on Big U.
Listen.
And that Eric Holder was going to get out the next day.
Now,
That's insane.
No, but hold on. Now, when he says this type of shit, right?
Right.
Because they got that the thing where Big U's watching the live and it says justice for Nip and he starts laughing.
That was
right?
damning.
Okay. When Black Sam did his interview, now I'm gonna show you how calculated this is. When Black Sam did his interview and kind of like authenticated the DJ Khaled shit, right? That's when Luce Cannon comes with what? Eric Holder's about to tell on Big U.
I think he said that before the Big Sam interview, right?
No, that nigga said that shit because he running his narrative. See, it be a lot of shit being said that y'all don't know. So let me tell you what Luce Cannon's nemesis was with Big U. What? You know who it was? Huh. Luce Cannon's mind says, any and everything Alex Alonso does, anybody gets on this platform to speak against Luce Cannon, comes through Big U.
Okay.
So when he see Alex interview this person or this person speaking on him in his mind, that's Big U's work.
So you think Alex is a Big U agent?
No, this is what Luce Cannon thinks.
He thinks that.
I think Alex f***s with Big U and the Big U sends him something cool. Has Big U sent him something? Yes, but I think Alex is totally capable of doing what you do. You look, you do your research.
But Luce hates Alex that much because he interviewed his ex-girlfriend, his ex-wife and everything?
Bro, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. In Luce Cannon's mind, everything Alex Alonso has done against him, even his brother being up there, was a Big U setup.
He did interview his twin brother, huh?
You get what I'm telling you?
Did you know he was 42?
I mean, I never asked him how old he was. I always heard that. I didn't give a fuck how old he was.
Twin
He could be 32, 42. He could be however old he want to be. What business up with his mind?
Yeah, twin brother explains if he and Luce Cannon grew up in Los Angeles.
So this one
I've never
here,
even thought about watching this, but okay.
So this one right here,
yeah,
I might have it on my phone because I think he sent me the recording. His twin brother called. He was locked up.
Wow, he does look a lot like him. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was locked up. And he was like, yo, I know Big U set that up. But like, boom, 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 right? And why did you say this and why did you say that, right? Because he like, don't nobody know you to be pulling you up. So 600, he hates Big U. Luce, for like everything Alex did, was he felt like Big U was like, Alex, do this. I'm going to send you this. Me, you done ran 2-3 narratives on me. So I'm going to be real, bro. When we playing on social media, bro, if somebody called me and is willing to say it and sit in the box with it, I'm running it on you. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you go out there and explain yourself. I don't get, because they do it to me all day long. I can't sit back. What I'm going to do, sit back and take 3 months to go investigate something? Hey, Wack, what up? I know this, I know that. Is that right? What else you know? Is that right? You willing to say that? Can I record you? Or you gonna cut in my platform? Yeah, let's go. Right? And I'm gonna run it. And I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna see if you're gonna react. I'm gonna see if you're gonna, because that's our satisfaction. That's anybody's satisfaction. This is why some of the shit, Adam, what we do, we act like we didn't hear it. Because we know that's the satisfaction for the op. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want to diss. I'm saying, reading what I read, the diss song thing is not adding up.
Some people think, this is our boy, but some people have been hitting me up and they think that Vlad has been compromised by Big U. Now, the evidence to suggest that.
What do you mean?
Vlad seemed very uncomfortable at times during our interview when we had the massive last episode with all 5 of us or 6 of us or whatever. Vlad would not say anything bad about Big U. He was kind of using the like rinky-dink pro Big U arguments of being like, well, every time I was around him, he was a nice guy or whatever, which obviously doesn't really mean much. He made it clear to me that every time you've ever gone off on Big U on Vlad TV, he edited it out.
No, I'm gonna be
real.
Didn't
know that.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Could have spared myself some issues if I had done that.
No, I'm gonna be real with you. Because I think Vlad just got a lot of respect for him. I don't know.
Yeah, they have a good relationship.
I don't know where they met.
I don't think he's being extorted or anything. It's just kind of a fun narrative.
And because I know this, and because I got respect for Vlad, I tend to try not to go at Big U on his plan. I'll even say it. This gonna be regarding to your little friend, so don't need for me to talk about it. Right? Because I know, right? That's like, But is he being? No, I think he's gonna start looking crazy if the craziness goes on.
And he still won't have a real conversation about it?
Yeah, he don't have real conversation because Vlad has real conversations about everybody.
Because in the same Vlad interview that I did, it's like 3 hours long, but we're talking about Dirk and we're talking about Big U. The accusations about both of them are very similar. And he's being so honest and open and transparent about how he feels about the Dirk thing. And then meanwhile with Big U, it's like, man, Big U always been such a good guy.
Maybe, listen, I'm going to be real. If I really had to act, like really put my money on it, and this just me, Vlad, my guy, I think maybe Big U might have did him a solid. Maybe something was going on. Big U helped him fix. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he helped him like get out of a situation or maybe some bullshit. As far as Vlad, like Vlad ain't paying. He ain't doing that with nobody.
It's possible that there was some sort of favor exchange, but I think that Vlad in general just really appreciated the fact that Big U did his first interview with him. He always showed him respect. They had a real cool relationship, which is the opposite of Dirk, where they had a cool relationship and then Dirk basically blew off their friendship and has dissed him in a bunch of songs. So Vlad does have every reason to go hard on Dirk and to go soft on Big U. But at a certain point, it's kind of like, well, you know, Vlad loves to re-up clips. He re-ups like a clip a day or whatever from old interviews. We have not seen any Big U clips getting re-ups, which is far different than how he treats most people. I've never,
because of the respect I got for Vlad, I've never even asked him. And I try to stay off of Big U remarks when I'm on Vlad. Because I know that's his guy, right?
Well, it has been suggested by a lot of people that you're basically a completely different person on Vlad. You're super respectful, choir boy, and then on here, you're just a madman.
Okay, well, you got to remember, Vlad is a different setup, right?
Yeah.
Vlad's setup is, and they don't see what we see on Vlad. He already knows what he wants this to be about.
True.
On here, we got a setup. But sometimes you will start with that, and because something in that spins off to something else, then the conversations go somewhere else.
We've been going for an hour. We haven't even looked at the topic list yet.
This is what I'm saying. So this is more of a freestyle on what we do, right? And that's just because we can do it.
It's fun. It's unpredictable. Yeah, right. It's loose. No canon.
Yeah. So look, my apologies to the family. I'm gonna be real. I didn't think you was real family. I just pointed out why I didn't think you was real family. And to this day, I only believe you're now the real family if you are the people that just interviewed with TMZ, because I know Harvey going to do his due diligence. If you're those people that was on here, then my apologies. If you not, then fuck you.
My favorite current new narrative is basically take like me and Big Deal. When me and Big Deal do content together, what am I really doing? I'm paying him to do an interview so that he will essentially smear T-Rel. That's how I was doing battle at that time.
You know what he's going to do.
A lot of people have suggested that the evil genius mind of Wack 100 said, here's loose cannon. He's not necessarily with it enough to realize the play that I'm going to do, but I'm going to befriend this guy who used to be super close to Big U. I'm going to take loose cannon, I'm going to elevate him, I'm going to bring him on to podcasts like No Jumper, and then I'm going to basically allow him to say things that will be bad for Big U, whether criminally, whether how he's viewed in the streets, etc. I do believe that you're capable of that sort of espionage.
Okay, so there's a little truth in that, and there's a lot of bullshit in that. Okay, so...
And intent is different than how it actually played out.
So... Of course, Loose Cannon's approach was Big U, right? Wack, what up? Whoa, man, that nigga Big U. Nigga, whoa. Is that right? That's what's going on? All right, so I sit back, I watched him. So he called. He like, hey, bro, and I'm going to make you remember this. I got a TV show coming out. Can you help me promote it? Right? Now, if you think about it, after I brought him up here, I personally send him to academics. Ack said it. You didn't hear what Ack said it? He said you lied me up. He said you lied me up and said you was coming with him.
Nobody even had to tell me. As soon as I saw Luce on academics, I thought, oh, that's a whack play.
That's a whack play. But I told Ack I'm coming.
Yeah.
Right? I said, Luce. Yeah.
And then you didn't.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
So I think this is what he broke the Meek Mill. I don't know. I'm thinking he going up there to talk about the show. And I believe he talked about the show, but they just spun into some other shit.
I mean,
right?
Act's gonna figure out what the good shit is. And I think
Yeah.
when he told me about allegedly extorting Rick Ross and Meek Mill in the club and everything, I was more just like blown away, just confused.
You didn't believe that shit, did you?
No, at that time, no, not at all. Ack really seized upon that and like went into way more detail about it and kind of went with it.
He was beefing with Meek.
Yeah.
Ack and Meek was at it. So this is how I knew it was cap, right?
Cheek Millie called
Listen, so it's a dude over there, no matter what has ever happened with me or Meek, whatever. It's a dude over there I always love and respect.
A chaser?
No, his name is Tiffy Bay. Yeah, he's a chaser.
Okay.
He's a chaser. Tiffy Bay. Tiffy Bay been home maybe about 6-8 months or whatever. Mm-hmm. Even when the bullshit going on, when I land in Philly, Tiffy Bay see me, he come over there and embrace me as a brother. It be bullshit going, but me and him, we got our brotherhood, right? TP Bay with me. Listen, this is a fact. Tell me you robbed Meek and shot TP Bay 20 times and he dead, and I might believe it because you got to kill Tiffy.
You're saying Tiffy ain't laying down.
Tiffy ain't laying down for nobody. He ain't laying down for nobody, right? So now on top of that, it's 10, 15 other Philly dudes with him. Right? This is what I believe. I believe Luce might have been at the club. Because this how he knew who was in the club.
Got it.
Right? Or somebody told him who was in the club. So what Luce would do, he'll take some shit he may have saw, some stories people may have told him, and then he'll insert himself. And then he'll tell the story. But if you hear the true story, you always catch 2 or 3 things that's like, no, he said it was that, but it was really that. Come on, bro. You really think? Do you really think? Look, I don't really fuck with Meek like that, right? Meek is not taking his jury off, and his security is not stepping away,
right? Yeah.
To hand it to a dude.
That was hard to believe, yeah.
Right? Let me explain to you why Big U wouldn't allow that to happen. One reason, they're all Muslim. See, when you talking to me about certain shit, I understand the overall politics. They're all Muslim, and they're from Philly. It's real brothers. You've talked to one when Nick was here on the phone when I called him. That are our go-to for our big business, that are real Muslim, who no Muslim could allow that to happen to a Muslim. They serious about that. TV, all them dudes is, I don't know if Meek is or not, but it don't matter what Meek is. Those other brothers are with Meek. So Big U is not going to send his homies at the Muslims. He's a Muslim. It's not going to happen.
I assume a lot of people out there are assuming that there's some sizable portion of people saying that they're Muslim who absolutely do not have a problem with extorting or robbing some other Muslim.
Listen, I don't know the Muslims.
There's got to be a lot of that.
I'm telling you, the Muslims I know, and there's a lot of Muslims watching this, and I'm pretty sure you'll see in the comments, they're not going to allow or call a shot and send non-Muslims to harm a Muslim. It's not going to happen, bro.
Okay.
Straight up. You know, they got this thing, you know, I don't know to what limit, but like, let's say if you snitched or you did whatever, and you go to jail, you become Muslim.
Yeah.
You cleanse all that. From that day forward.
And see, that's why people think that people are being opportunistic when they become Muslim in prison.
I don't know. The Muslims I know that's their faith and they serious about it and they live by it.
But there's no other way that you can get out of jail free card on being labeled a snitch.
So let's get back to it. So from February to May, my job was to pump his reality show.
Okay.
Right? And I was pumping it as hard as I was pumping it because at that time the owners was telling me, Wack, if you can make this perform, we're going to give you a contract for 2-3 of your own shows. Right? I got all that on my phone, right?
I feel like Aaron the Plumber kind of like became what you were trying to turn Luce Cannon into. And I also think Aaron the Plumber borrowed some of the 4 Extra persona.
No, hold on. No, he watched
because it's basically like these guys are
I don't
all
even know this
playing
dude.
a similar character of like, look how tough I am. I'll fade anybody, and I'm entertaining on camera.
And guess what else he does? He calls a person he don't know 38 times and start texting me crazy shit, and I bit. I'm like, bro, who the fuck? Because I don't, Adam, you know a lot of shit you will say to me. I don't be knowing what you're talking about. You got to show me like these new sensation people popping up. I'm not down there seeing them as they sprouting up. By the time I hear about them, they've been around 9 months or something, right?
No.
So, and I'm gonna keep it real. I did a great job because I started working on Luce February. By about summertime, I had Luce on fire. He was on fire. You never known me to go to these little ass podcasts. I did that for him. I didn't do that for me. If that was the case, I would have been going to him. No Jumper, Bootleg Kev.
Hater World.
Right? No. I'm going to do those. You know, Bootleg, my boy. I got him his job at the radio station back when they first opened.
I was saying that you went on a variety of podcasts.
I went on a variety of a bunch of little bitty shits. That's because what they'll do, they'll call Luce. And like, yo, man, we want to holler at Wack or whatever. Woo. He like, yeah, I could get Wack to come with me. Right? Luce would call me. I'd be like, who's your people? He like, it'd be a good look for me. So I would go. Because at this time, I'm like, all right, I am pumping him. So I would go and it worked. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of shit he was talking about, I'm not going to sit there at the time he's talking about it and on camera, and this supposed to be my guy, and say, you a motherfucking lie. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it because then it takes away from the persona that we all see is working for him. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to challenge a dude that I'm pushing in front of the world. I'm just going to lay back. I'll be like, 9 out of 10 times he say, Wack, ain't right there right? Be like, yup. I don't know. I wasn't even around you back then to know what the was up. But I'm going to rock with you. You know what I mean? So, in hindsight, I'm going to tell you this. What this situation has taught me is it's a very thin line on what people perceive as real, that's bullshit, that they will still tell you is real. We knew that even if we throw a fake narrative out there, fuck it, I told Six, we gonna push it out there. It's their voice, we don't give a fuck. They lied, ain't no police told them. This lady don't even know what year brother, his alleged brother got killed, she capped. It's gonna piss him off. The same way he irritated me with the shit he did. You know what I'm saying? When I start getting calls from people like, yo, Wack, my bad, bro. The nigga asked me to do it.
I think people are super hyper aware of the fact that a ton of stuff online is fake. So then as soon as the federal indictment comes down, in their mind, they're like, here's something that is 100% not fake. Let's get into this. And that will capture some people.
But listen. How often do we see that?
Yeah, almost never, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Well, so in hip-hop, kind of a lot over the past couple of years.
But not coming off like, bro, listen, I'm going to be real. I have a zillion prison stories.
Right.
A zillion jail stories.
But as soon as you have one video, we're viral.
A zillion stories from shit that has happened in the streets. You don't hear me, the closest you're going to hear me say is, I saw such and such get kicked in the ass. Suge slapped such and such. I saw it. Right? And then that's if we going at that individual, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about, unless I've done the time for it or it's already, they done did the time, it's public record. Nigga ain't finna talk about some shit that don't nobody know about.
So when Luce Cannon is sitting next to you going into great detail about robbing weed shops with Big U and Big U not properly splitting up the proceeds afterwards and scamming people and all this kind of stuff, was there any part of you that in your head was like, this was only a couple years ago, you could easily still get in trouble for this? Because honestly, that did not cross my mind.
I'm going to tell you why. He told a story, bro. I just want you to walk with me. Whenever you tell Superman stories with me, because being from the streets, even if you pull up on your ops, we always talk about, oh, we shot 2 of you niggas. We don't never talk about 3 of ours got shot too, right? We don't talk about that, right? So when I hear him say, we went in the spot and took everything, and then 30 minutes later, the dude from the spot is walking in the house. Hey, bro, don't nothing about that shit sound real. Like, like, come on, bro. Right. What the fuck are we talking about? Motherfucker come to no jumper and rob you.
Right.
30 minutes later, you're walking through the house of the people that robbed you. How fucking real? So at this point in time, I'm a rock and roll with him. Oh, yeah? And what else happened? Oh, man, he told us to give him this. I'm like, oh, so now the troll is on. I'm going to paint the narrative.
Right.
Oh, you know why he told him? He beat all y'all. He took half of that and still made y'all to cut up with that. Right? So I'm just going to pump it. I'm going to troll it and rock with it. But, bro, nobody believes that a motherfucker just went and robbed somebody. And then the person that y'all robbed comes to the safe house where you guys are counting up what you just took from him.
Yeah. Strange.
Nobody brings the victim back to the spot where he could call the police.
Right.
Or some other dudes. Hey, bro, the dudes that robbed me is over here. They just brought me to the spot. You rob them and then say, pull up over here. Who calls the victim of who you robbed and tells them to come to where you at?
Right.
So when you telling these stories, I'm in my mind, I'm like, this nigga crazy.
But are you thinking like this is kind of fucking my credibility up if he's lying about all this stuff?
No, because it's him.
Right.
The only thing I did tell him, I said, hey, bro, this FaceTime shit, I told him this. If you don't have it, you better put in some work doing some other shit to try to get people's mind, because remember, he told us February 14th, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks come, I'm like, bro, where it's at? Say you got it. Where it's at.
But you're saying the reality show is holding on to it now.
Well, no, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, okay.
He's saying this is what he started telling me. The reality show has the drive, right? He's telling me the reality show has the drive. I'm like, bro, if you got that, you need to know let Adam, because Adam getting cease and desist. Niggas is looking crazy, bro. You like, I don't know what that is. So he's like, they got the drive. So first it went, they was going to give it up in May. Then it went to, they're not going to give it up till February. So without me saying too much, a whole lot of shit started happening in February, March, because there was a whole lot of questions being asked about certain shit. Right? So I told him, I said, bro, if you ain't got that shit, you might have went too far with that, because I don't know how you gonna make up for that one. You said it, and people done waited 2 weeks, and it wasn't here, and then a month, and 2 months, and now we into the next year, right? But again, if he has it, I don't know. I don't know if it's on the drive. I don't know.
Well, you know who apparently is suspicious of this are the feds, because as discussed, they showed up at my house and they wanted a copy of the cease and desist. Now, before we even talk about that, you went on No Jumper News and spread a narrative that I had been arrested, which it's all fun and games until my wife gets a text from her OBGYN saying, thank God Adam isn't arrested.
Now stop.
I didn't even know this chick knew who I was.
So this is what happens, right? I call you.
Okay.
Right? I said, yo, bro, what the hell you talking about? The feds really come in your spot? Yeah. You tell me the story. I said, what they want? You said, I ain't telling you because you going to go to Clubhouse and say it. I said, bro, you know I wouldn't do you like that. So you told me, right? You said, I'm going to go on 4 o'clock news. I said, where Remo and them at? He said, they on right now. So I call, this how Wack thinking. I call the news.
And we did end up having the most live viewers that we've ever had.
Right, no.
At least in part because of that.
Okay, now before you get there, this is how Wack's thinking. This is the business Wack. I call the news, right? I go on Clubhouse, make the announcement, Adam in jail, sending my attorney down there with him to get him.
Right.
Right? That goes out. I call the news. Hey, look, bro, Now, the only one Almighty then was rolling with it because you notice he said, why 2:30, why not 2 o'clock? I said, look, they got Adam and G. He said, you talked to him? I said, yeah. Remo's texting me. Yo, Wack, you know. I said, bro, I already know, motherfucker. Just roll with the play.
Remo is compromised.
Yeah, just roll with the play, right?
DJ Remo Demix.
I said, look, my attorney assured me by 2:30 he gonna be out. Why did I say 2:30? I said, give me much time to get from downtown to get here, right? And at 4 o'clock,
stop at Burger King.
He's going live. I'm saying it because everybody that's listening to the fucking No Jumper live, for sure, they're coming back. I didn't set it on Clubhouse. I didn't set it everywhere.
That was a
He's going live.
campaign.
Boom, 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 boom. But watch, what did I just say? When we say something, even today, people are asking, you see the feds picked Adam up and booked up. I'm like, you dummy, he was never picked up and booked. Yeah. But because we say it, it's like, it's that thin line to where they're calling it real. Not only are the fans calling it real, the law is starting to call our shit real. So it's kind of like, we got to watch what we trolling with, bro.
And we look like we are either agents ourselves or we are such Teflon Dons that somehow we've been able to dance in the water and not get wet. We are surrounded by criminality, perhaps involved, but somehow we have not been picked up.
You can't tell people you didn't go down there and tell on Bricc, baby. This is what they think.
The comment section on that big pod that we did with academics and shit is like 100% of the comments are like, y'all are feds. Look at the CIA meeting up, blah, blah, blah. Like everybody is stuck on exactly one joke. Nobody seems concerned with the fact that this is incredibly played out, that there's no evidence for it. Everybody thinks that they're Kevin Hart out here making the same stupid ass joke. Fuck y'all. Smash the like button also.
And listen, let me give it to you, right? I'm going to keep it real.
Sure.
Because I ran my narrative. Bricc, baby, when I sit back and I say, how can I shoot back at Bricc, baby?
Get him picked up by the feds.
No.
No. Okay.
Bricc will sit up here and say, Wack ain't no blood. Wack ain't from here. He would run his narrative, right? So guess what? My homeboy fucking your wife.
So that was made up.
No, that wasn't made up.
That was made up.
No, that wasn't made up.
Ain't nobody hitting Kirsten.
Listen, that wasn't made up.
Just the Bricc.
No, that wasn't made up. To a certain extent. I do have a homeboy fucking this girl. It's just not that girl. Oh. Right? Listen. No, but look, bro, I'm just being real. Like, bro, like, because these people, I'm like, people are trying to make us like, we're not the pastors. The pastors make up shit more than anybody, and y'all don't say nothing to them.
But you run the risk of your credibility being permanently torched. Remember when you were saying that Blueface axe girl?
Well, no, okay, watch this.
Which, by the way, we need to mention that we were in the presence of the one and only Shay Glizzy.
I didn't know who she was.
And we did not discuss any of the weird stuff that has gone on in the past.
I didn't know who she was, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I forgot I met her in Miami.
Ah, okay.
That's she was like, Wack, you don't remember you? I'm like, who are you? She like, Shay Glizzy, right? And I'm like, I met you in Miami when you came by.
You're thinking it was Aunt Glizzy's sister or something.
I didn't know who the lady was. I told her straight up, I said, look, Shay, I don't know who the fuck you was. She said, Act told me that. She said, but can you tell me the truth? Is he really fucking Paris?
Hiltran.
Paris Hiltran?
Yes.
From Atlanta? I said, that's my little homegirl from Clubhouse. All I was doing was putting some clout on her name, right? So I had Paris call in there. I'm like, yo, Act, why don't you go ahead on and talk to my artist? So Paris goes in, right? Look, listen, I'm going to be real. Motherfuckers say what they want. They not entertained about us talking about the birds and the bees and how long it takes for the flowers to grow. These people entertained about, they want to hear some bullshit. The flow of traffic nobody pays attention to. It's the head-on collision that stops both sides of the freeway. This is just what's real,
pretty good
right?
metaphor, yeah.
So at the end of the day, Bricc runs narratives on me. Big U runs narratives on me. That's totally false. So when I run mine, it's a problem? Nah, bro. Nah, we gotta
talk about this.
We gonna run it up.
We got long live Shay Glizzy. We gotta talk about this. Big U caught another charge when the official charges dropped because of the video that he filmed in which he tried to implicate you and Luce Cannon.
And 600.
And 600.
Now watch this.
Very interesting.
Now watch this. I don't know how that happened or what that's about. But Big U right there was running his last narrative on me.
The final narrative.
Okay, let's talk about it.
When he starts a podcast from jail like Suge Knight, then maybe there'll be more.
He says, Wack 100 said he was going to take his contracts from me. He started working with the feds. The feds went to the government officials and the celebrities and told them don't give me no more money. Now let me ask you something. He says, and one of you motherfuckers from Rolling 60s, if y'all get the contract, I know you working with Wack and I know you a op. Have I not been against the grid program day one?
You've had a lot to say about it, yeah.
So why would I go over there and set somebody up in the grid program? But the world, 600, and I don't know, I'm like, bro, you looking crazy. But he running this narrative. This is the drowning man trying to pull everybody down with him. 600 was with the feds when they raided my house. Who put the video up? 600 did. What happens if you are a dude, a Big U's statue, and you live in the hood, and your house getting raided by the feds? What does the hood do? Man, they hit the nigga house. They in there right now. I
was kind of surprised that his house wasn't, I mean, I don't want to take shots, but I was kind of picturing him living in a little bit nicer of a house.
I know his house. You seen that house? That's the same house. He's in the backyard playing ping pong with Suge.
Oh.
That's the same house.
Oh, really? That's where that video was?
That's the same house where he had 600 in the backyard when they had their little back and forth. It's the same house, right?
Oh, okay.
So when 600 calls me about 7:15, he like, yo, bro, they say the feds hit Big U house. I said, bro, don't jump out the window with that shit, because at 12 o'clock, that nigga be laughing at you. Said, you better go over there and see. He said, I'm going to drive by there and see. I'm thinking in my head, it's some bullshit. 7:30, Luce Cannon texts me. Says it. I said, 600 on his way by there to see. That's when he sent the video. That's when I knew it was real. When he first told me, we didn't heard this 10 times before. They hit his house. You don't remember the one time 600 put it out? Big U hung himself. He put it out, Big U hung himself, right? And I like, 6.
Wait, really?
I'm like, 6, what you doing, bro? All it takes for him to go live and you looking crazy. Somebody really told him that. And he like, I don't give a fuck. I got him recorded saying it, so I'll just put that up. If it's a troll, it's a troll. But I'm seeing now that, like, dealing with this shit is like, the things we hear that we think ain't the truth just might be the truth.
Right.
So if you start trolling it, and you know, trolling ain't, we can troll in a way where we're totally serious. Serious, our demeanor, our conversation, how we're looking, to like we're really feeding into it. But we're bullshitting the whole time. But to the people, they don't think that. And then you look up and you be like, wait, what you mean? Yo, Wack, you know that, I mean, that was some bullshit. Nah, look, it just came out.
Is there anything that has happened from this Rico coming out and everything? Is there anything that has made you think twice about anything that you do in your life? Of like, oh, I need to be a little bit more careful in this regard. I know you're not like actually out here breaking the law all the time, but it does stand out that like there's a lot of like relatively normal stuff kind of wrapped up in this.
The only thing is, Adam, you know how much bullshit motherfuckers call us with.
Sure.
Right? Now it's kind of like we would get a call about some bullshit, and at 1 o'clock, at 1:03, fuck it, we up with it. You can't do that no more. You really gotta like go investigate if these people are who they say they are, if what this person is talking about is real. Because if you go troll with it, like I've seen shit that other podcasters or bloggers are talking about that I started the narrative. I'm like, I can't believe this shit didn't got that far. For instance, you cannot tell these people you and R&B and Lennon wasn't back there having sex.
Yeah.
They really think that Remo called me and I was at home crying. These dummies didn't put it together that I'm in a no jumper building. Like, how can't you not? Somebody said, one person, I hear the water running behind you. Let me tell you what else. And I left it in there. Before you came into the room, when I said, all right, R&B, sit over there. Leonard, go over there to the cabin and get the shit y'all got over there. Leonard looks at me and says, Wack, why are you holding the camera like that? She clearly telling the world, Wack's right here. But they totally tuned that out. Your woman's fucking Adam and his wife, right?
It's all about making great content. And if you make good enough content, then nobody will care about the real one. Because you know what clip is back from the dead?
What?
The clip where I ask X4 about the video of him shooting some people or whatever, and he just stays completely silent. That clip is back with a vengeance, doing millions and millions and millions of views all over the internet. Like, this is how a real gangster is supposed to respond when they're on no jumper or whatever. I have talked about the fact that me and X4, did I say 4 extras before? Me and X4 talked about that beforehand, and basically like,
because they're taking it like you asked them that.
Well, they're taking it as if it wasn't something that he and I had already discussed beforehand, and I've talked about it so much, and nobody gives a because it fits the narrative.
It fits the narrative.
Yeah.
They're taking it like, Adam, you the police. Why would you ask them that? Because, dummy, I told X4, hey, somewhere in here, I'm going to ask you this, that you just mute up and look at me as crazy as you can.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it because all it says to me is like, oh, like, look what I'm capable of. Well, look what we can do when we script some shit, you know?
But the people believe the shit.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, listen, think about it, right? Think about it. On some real shit. Our thing is to troll Big U.
Right.
I never
Let's not say R. That was really
no our thing. The exposers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. The exposers.
What's the troll Big U? Right.
Got it.
We not thinking about how he gonna feel about it. We don't give a fuck because he doesn't care. Big U went on there, bro. 600 being a cop started because Big U said it. This is where they beef started. 600 went and got his gun license. Big U went on some shit and said if 600 got his gun license, he a cop because he got a felony. Which Big U was totally wrong about.
You could still get it even as a felon?
No, he had a felony.
Ah, okay.
Right? He was totally wrong about it. So from that, 600 like, man, people really believe it. I said, bro, you can't get mad about it. You get mad about it, he wins, right? You get to going on there mad and you pouting and complaining, he wins. Troll with it. All I told him was to troll with it. So what does he do? He get his white partner, gives him a script, records it, plays it while he's driving. He's right there. He walks in the fucking city hall building. You never see a cop in none of the video. But they hear a white voice tell him to come pick up. He got a little fucking thing he bought from Walmart. You know, you go to Walmart and buy anything. 4 PF chains. You buy all kind of shit.
At Walmart?
Yeah,
at
Walmart.
4 PF chains.
They sell all
Wait,
this.
you're talking about online?
No, you can go to Walmart and they got all kind of shit, bro.
Really?
He goes by a police trinket with a fake diamond in it, and as if the police is giving it to him. I said, bro, embrace the troll. Only way to beat him at it, just embrace it. Fucking start, roll with it. If you don't care. And to this day, I get people right now, yo, Wack, so you don't think he's going too far? Let motherfuckers know that he worked with the police. Dude, he don't work with the police. I know the dude that left the voice record for him.
Right.
Just like you did that with X4. Okay, X4, a lot of these I ain't gonna call them dummies. People don't know X4 was trolling 4 extras on the Cam Capone.
I know, right?
They think that he was really saying, nigga, I squabbled 20 of them. I don't need no break. Nah, bring you. He was mimicking 4 extras. But to them, they like, oh, this little dude was doing that. Right? And everybody's watching and talking about it.
X4, no shots. Kind of hard to imagine you doing 20 back to back.
No.
4 extra, also hard to imagine, but with him, I don't know, 20, maybe 6, 7, I don't know, but 20, that's a little hard to believe.
The gift that X4 has, he can do that shit with a straight face.
Yeah, he's good.
I was sitting there, I'm like, he gonna crack any minute. He's gonna crack any minute. I'm thinking he's gonna crack a smile. Dude got this straight face look down packed. His girl is never gonna be able to get it out of him.
Right.
No, he ain't. You not gonna be able to catch him. He like, and I'm watching him like, yo, this fool seems so realistic. I hear the troll because he's simply mimicking the things that 4 Extras has said.
Yeah.
And him being such a little dude, right? A little dude.
I don't even think Cam Capone got it.
No, he didn't. But that's what I'm saying. Now it's like, they like, yo, I'm like, yo, bro, we trolling. Like, yo, like, we trolling, bro. Like, when we start trolling, we gonna build on the troll. The object is to make the troll believable.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do. But now it's getting to a point to where maybe we done got so good at it, or these people are so absent-minded to where we gotta control the trolling, bro. That's what I got. I'm like, bro, we gotta control the trolling, because when this family called me, I didn't believe nothing they said, because you got the death year wrong. You telling me it's our little secret. The police told us. But ain't no motherfucking police go tell you when they finna go arrest nobody, no fucking body for no fucking murder. Get the fuck out of it. And then you text me asking me for money and shit like this right after. Fuck it. I like, bro, we gonna take this clip and we gonna troll it. Luce Cannon was against it day one. He like, nah, Wack, that's too much trolling. I'm like, man, fuck this dude. Right?
And, I mean, he ultimately kind of took offense to the idea of you guys airing out all this stuff about Big U, which to me is logically incoherent, because he was the same person who was out here spreading the idea that, you know, Big U was basically responsible for Nipsey's death. But that is what led to you guys falling out. And it is so strange to imagine what it would be like if you and Luce Cannon were still cool right now, because you did fall out like 4 days before he was arrested.
No, he fell out.
He did fall out.
He fell out.
And you feel like he showed his true colors.
He fell out. Well, I know why he did what he did.
He wanted to make a run for it.
No.
Get up out from
under. It was
under
something totally different. I know why he did what he did. I know why he did. It's a backstory to that, right?
Really?
But what's funny is I knew he was going to do that. Like, I told my girl, okay, this is supposed to be this. It's not going to be that. He's going to find a reason to do something. What? I don't know. Right? Because remember, you remember what Flacco told him when he called in? Where did Wack go at you at? If Wack 100 would have went at Luce Cannon, that shit would have been everywhere.
If you had actually attacked him.
Yeah. So when he called in saying Wack ran content on me, they like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where? They're asking him.
Right.
So he got to a point to where he's like, the shit he said wasn't making sense.
In the full spectrum of Wack running content on you, what you actually did was really almost nothing.
Yeah, so he took something and tried to make it something. And you know, nephew running this shit, whatever. I just put some money on his books the other day, right? He calls me every fucking day, right? So,
okay, three different media strategies that we've seen throughout this. Big U. Yes, he did make the stupid video before he got locked up, which got him an additional charge. But since he's been locked up, haven't heard anything from him. Bricc Baby called into the news. I had a brief conversation with him off air, stuff like that, but hasn't really volunteered any information that seems like it would be of use.
Let's talk about some more bullshit.
But Luce Cannon is seemingly appearing on any podcast that will have him and is really saying at least some stuff that seems like it is ill-advised.
Yeah, whatever he's doing.
What's your attitude on that? Like, are you concerned about how much he is talking, given that he's in a situation where he should be more concerned with fighting for his freedom?
I've told him to focus on what's in front of me. Like, I didn't, but Luce knows what Luce is doing. It's a method to his madness, regardless of how you see it or how I see it. It's a reason why he's doing whatever he's doing. Why? I don't know why. But he's already, first thing I told him, I'm like, yo, bro, they will send your ass to the hole. My people from the Fed is saying, Wack, tell dude they'll send him to the hole behind the three-way calling to these podcasts.
Right.
Right? I take a screenshot of it. I send it to his wife. Right? I don't want him to think it's coming from me. This is coming from cats that did time in the Feds. So Luce calls me. What? You know I'm not stupid, right? What? Sharice told me what you sent her. Yeah. Them dudes that been to the feds telling me that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. Officer, can you come here? What? Before I call into the podcast, what have I established with y'all? You come and get permission for us. We know you doing it. I swear to God.
Wow.
Right?
So how do you take that?
That's just Luce being loose. Like he getting in the whatever environment and he, he sets up a way to operate.
Do you think that he's just kind of addicted to the clout that he's experiencing? Because it's probably kind of overwhelming because he's probably never been this viral before.
No, I definitely do.
This is what he's been fighting for in a lot of ways,
definitely
right?
do. I don't know to what extent, but I'm going to show you. Like, I swear to God, look, I sent it, my homeboy, Lavish, wanted to expose it. Look, I'm sending this to Luce's wife. Tell Luce, right here, the black one.
Tell them to stop letting Luce call into No Jumper. The feds obviously watching it. Them three-way calls will get a disciplinary action. Feds don't play that, especially with witnesses out in the public. He will line himself up.
So I sent it to her because I don't want to text it like it's coming from me.
Okay.
So when he calls me and lets me know, hey, not only do they know what I'm doing, I got them to let us watch the No Jumper on the TV in here.
What? Really?
I swear to God.
Shout out to all my convicts.
That's Luce.
Convict music.
That's Luce. He just told me Casanova just pulled up.
Really?
He said NBA YoungBoy left 2 days before he got there and Casanova just pulled up.
Bricc Baby said he was talking to Dirk in there. He was yelling into the toilet.
Probably through the toilet, through the vents.
Dirk, how you doing? But right as I was coming in here, YBG told me that there are Bricc Baby disses on the new Lil Durk album.
Might be. Okay, look, Bricc Baby.
I ain't seen that.
I still didn't figure this out. Who put out, this wasn't me, who put out the narrative he got stabbed?
I think just a random YouTuber. We kind of ran with it. We put in the title, question mark, Bricc Baby stabbed, but I think it was just a random YouTuber.
So now, see what I'm saying? Like, so think about it.
People are that thirsty for content that they don't even
but
require
you can't say that because you reposted it.
Yeah, we kind of leaned into it, but we didn't start it.
Bricc.
Just because Bricc Baby stabbed, question mark is like, our audience has got to tune into that. And
they expect y'all to talk about it.
Well,
right?
it was out there enough that it felt like we had to kind of address it.
It's getting to a point to where like, and then other podcasters or bloggers who don't know what the fuck is going on. Have you ever seen a clip about you where it's this dude from fucking Maine somewhere and he just then looked at about 50 different clips and he just then took all the weird shit that different people then said and then he pieces it together like it's him? And you can tell, I'm like, bro, you didn't watch YouTube for 3 days and took a bunch of shit you didn't heard.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you got to take the good with the bad.
The crazy shit, honestly, is that like, I used to pay AD and T-Rail to do podcasts on No Jumper and then go home and react to No Jumper at home from their homes. Now they're not getting paid. Their streams are 100%. Like, we might have to start sending copyright violations because T-Rail literally is just sitting on stream watching No Jumper content like every night. It is bananas.
Wait. You saying all that content is No Jumper content?
They literally like left thinking that they were going to be able to create the next big West Coast platform, and instead, I mean,
they're reacting.
T-Rail is like by far the worst one because I see Pun and AD reacting to stuff, but T-Rail is the worst one. T-Rail is just literally hours every night talking about us and watching clips of us.
Now I will say the other one. What's the dude that talk like this? That dude. What's the dude?
Duno? No, Smack.
Smack. I told you when I called you. You called my phone, Smack. You called me. And when I talked about what I talked about, I look up the next day and you apologizing to the lady and all this type of shit.
Kitchen Manny or whatever.
He apologizing. He said, Wack should be giving me free tacos. I didn't want to my plug up, right? T-Rail was like, T-Rail like, yo, you gotta just bring the paperwork because Wack just telling us everything he said is there. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But Smack, you on some bullshit because don't call me want me to run your shit up.
Smack for sure would tell for a taco. They ever get him in that interrogation room? They put a couple of carne asada tacos in front of him. He's talking about everything that ever happened in the hood.
You tripping.
I'm just saying, man. Smack will sing his heart out for a taco.
I don't know nothing about Smack telling, but Smack tucked that tail. Bro, you tucked that damn tail. I saw you on there. I didn't be done by it. Come on, bro. You wanted me to run it up. People call Wack to run it up. And at that point, I was just reading what was on the document. I haven't even tapped into this 75 pager.
Are you familiar with the whole trap kitchen thing? Like, why did they let her go from the job? They just don't want to be associated with criminality in any way, or is it because they think that she might be telling?
No. I'm not going to say they let her go because she was telling, because that would be unethical for them to do that.
She got like a new name, Egg Roll Babe or something. On
I think that because she started going on the internet and fighting back for whatever reason, they just didn't want that type of stigma on their brand. You get what I'm saying? Trap Kitchen is not it's a real business. It's a real organization. It's not a gang or clique. It's a real business, as is Maestro's is a restaurant, or any other place you may go is a restaurant. It's a real business. And I think when she came home and she attacked me, Bosco, T-Rail, Smack, they whole thing is like, yo, come home and get back to the business. You doing that is going, every time somebody tags you, they're tagging your name, such and such Trap Kitchen Money, right? And that's not, because you got a Power Rule and a Crip came together to do that, right? So there's like, this is a real business. Like, it's like you putting a dark light on the brand. So if that's what you want to do, then we gonna get away from you, because we can't tell you when and when not to talk.
Imagine I told Bricc Baby, like, oh, you're fired. Sorry. You got indicted. You're done.
I mean, you know.
It's very much the opposite. Here, an indictment could get you on the staff.
Huh?
At no jumper, I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah, because it's conversation.
I mean, it's something to talk about, for sure.
You know, it's conversation, but it's just like, I talked about this in Clubhouse on the morning show over there. I'm like, bro, sitting back, when SKG hit me and told me, yo, the family interview with TMZ, I'm like, what family? Because I'm still at the time, I'm like, you know. And she told me, I'm like, so they like a real thing? It's like, it's the real people? And she like, yeah. I'm like, damn. Because my whole troll was, it really wasn't at them, because I'm figuring they trolling me with the bullshit. It was the troll Big U. You know what I'm saying? We trying to troll him, antagonize him, get his blood going. I mean, shit, he got my blood going a time or two. Right. So shit, you know, it's fair and love, you know, it's in love and war, right? To hear her tell me that, I'm like, damn, that shit was really a thing. Right. You know, and I still don't know if all of it was, you know, it was like certain things that they were saying to me. It was like, this some bullshit, but fuck it. It's a solid clip. I'm going to put it around our murder mystery room, and we're going to run with it. It'll give us 90 minutes, 2-hour room, and we ran with it. But and then it gives my media team something to cut up and put out there.
I was deeply moved by the SKG interview.
I told you.
She's dealt with some shit.
You didn't even know who she was. I'm like, bro, you don't know. That's why I'm like, when you pulled her up and you seen something at the end, I'm like, bro, like, you should really talk to her. And SKG been around. Yeah. Her name means Suge Knight Girl. Yeah. She was around us before Big U. Because when Big U was in jail is when her rise started. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
And I mean, her story of how Big U just consistently tormented her over the years and fucked up multiple different business situations she had going, like, especially from the perspective of a young black chick from the hood. For her to have to face all of these challenges and all these obstacles that, you know, somebody not from that environment wouldn't have had to deal with.
Did she tell you about the 250?
She paints a picture of him as a fucking monster, way worse than even that indictment. What are you saying?
Did she tell you about the 250?
250,000?
She didn't tell you about it?
No.
That's what got her DP. And then another thing she told me.
The DP where Nipsey set her up at the Marathon store or whatever? No, she was saying that she was trying to align the radio station with Big U to basically like, run shit through his nonprofit. And then she realized it was shady. So she decided to cut it off. And then he kept showing up at the business.
So
$250,000. I don't think she mentioned that dollar.
Okay. So what it was she went up there. SKG's a hustler.
Uh-huh.
This is at an era where we created Crush Groove, How the West Was Won, Wack 100, and a little light-skinned guy named AD, who was the program director of K-Day, created these things.
Right.
SKG is in there doing her own thing, but she was so good at marketing, right? We kept her on the team. Now, I'm going to be real. The reason why I say she a solid chick, she said, Wack, I never told you back then because I had an obligation to where I was from. She said, you remember the day you walked in there and Big U was in the back with me? I'm like, yeah. He thinking, I got you there. I'm telling him, no. He here with my boss. Wack been doing business. Not only doing business with the boss, he doing business with one of the chairmen at Live Nation, Nick Masters, right? She said, this one I knew you was a real dude and genuine, and he was fake. I said, what? She said, I saw all you used to do for him, all the doors you opened. That dude looked at me and said, and dissed, don't get that S word, no plugs in here. And when you came out and seen him, you're like, bro, what's up? What you got going on? I don't put something together. Bro, pull up on me later. I saw how we handled you. And I'm like, damn, Wack be really like helping positioning dude. And the dude thought I was in there for some SKG shit. No, I'm in there doing business with your boss. Think I've been at my run. Whatever y'all doing. We putting together this amphitheater motherfucking show that where we got control of the budget, right? So, but she didn't tell me back then. Although she said, because I felt about it, told you, even after she got her ass whooped, she still didn't tell me because she was obligated to the flag she was under. So Dad allocated $250,000 for some program she had created for the kids, inner city kids,
right?
For people with nonprofit. Although SKG was out of the 60s, she said, I'm going to get a Hoover's $50,000, the Black Pea Stones of Blood $50,000, the Harlem's $50,000, the 60s $50,000, and I believe the Swans $50,000.
Right.
Big U find out about it. He tell her, nah, you sending all that to the 60s. You giving the whole $250 to our nonprofit. She like, nah, this is for the kids. I want all the kids in the different sections. And when she didn't do that, that's when she got a DP.
Wow.
That's where the DP come from. But I didn't, I dealt with SKG as we needed her on me and AD shows. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even really know what he was doing. What it wasn't my business.
Spoiler, because the whole thing isn't out yet, but she does verify that she believes that you're a very good person in the interview.
Bro, I should look out, bro. I opened the door like I don't even gotta know you. Like, yo, Wack out here, whoop de whoop. I opened the door. I didn't care where you was from. And this is why, bro, I got so much blowback from bringing dude to the table. And they telling me, Wack, man, listen, man, we think you're making a mistake. But I thought we had a brotherhood. So one of the same people who used to tell me, hey, homie, don't forget where you from. I think you're a little too far out there in the water. You're getting a little too close. Was with me when I got the call that him and Suge Knight tried to backdoor me at my label. And he looked at me and said, I told you so, this on you. And he was right. You know what I'm saying? This is why it was kind of like, it was easy for me to turn it off. Because I had already been getting it. And this is the crazy part. It's other Crips who do not, especially on the east side, mess with dude.
Right.
But I had introduced him on the strength of me. So when me and him kind of started getting into it, he's making his rounds on the phone, I guess call himself, I don't know what he calls himself doing. He calling people, yo, I don't f with Wack no more, so on the Crip and leave dude alone. You know what they telling him? Hey, bro, we only f with you because of Wack. You met us because of Wack. How you gonna call us talking about don't f with Wack when we only fucking with you because of Wack? Now Now, the crazy part about it, Big U, whatever y'all got going on, we hearing about it, but Wack ain't called over here and said nothing to us. And he got some leeway too. So why is you calling us when we only know you and dealt with you is because of Wack? So I was getting all these calls and I'm like, damn, bro. Because even at that, I felt like I just wasn't fucking with him. Whatever plugs and resources I gave you,
right,
I wasn't gonna try to turn them off and take them from you. Feed your family. But on the flip side, everything my people was telling me it was, I seen him attempt to do. He just couldn't do it because he had started lying to himself that he was me and the situations was his and they really might. You can't turn my situation off when it's my situation. You just, it's not gonna work.
Right.
Right. So, but again, these 75 pages I read, I've never seen that guy. I'm not, this shit ain't trolling no more because I'm reading some, if all these facts is on there, I've never seen that Big U. I don't know who that is.
Definitely. Did you know about Luce Cannon allegedly stealing $40,000 from Black China's mom or whatever?
When I looked into it, she didn't say well, I guess you can say it is.
When you get into it, it's a little bit more complicated.
I'm going to tell you why.
Her framing is a little opportunistic.
And Black China, don't get mad at me because I knew you before Luce.
Oh my God. Black China appearing on an episode of this show would be amazing.
I mean, we always been cool.
She walked out on me like 5 years ago. I feel like it's probably water under the bridge. Black China, come on. We'll talk about it.
She still got my number, ain't changed.
We'll have a respectable conversation.
This is why when I looked at it, I didn't know how to read it. I've been knowing Black China a long time. I knew her before Luce. I've seen her and Luce together. They come to my studio, all that, right?
Okay.
But, and this is way before Black China made her turnaround.
Okay.
And got off drugs and stopped drinking and all this, right?
Okay.
It would be times where I would book Black China to do a date or a gig, and it'd be all love. Okay, Wack, as long as you're going to be there, I'll meet you in the parking lot, have your money. Cool. She'd get to the parking lot, and she a total different person.
Really?
She tripping, going crazy. I'm trying to give her, one time I had to follow her home to give her money. She would not take the money because she was a little high.
The drugs had her going.
Drugs and liquor, right? And again, this is not as a recent. This is before she got her shit together.
Okay.
So I can see Luce being with her, this is woman, and he like, where the 40,000 at? I don't know. I gave it to my mom. And Luce going in there, knowing that you're gonna wake up in the morning talking about where my 40,000 at. You know, why would I give her 40,000, Luce? If you're with me and you're sober and I'm doing something stupid, like I can see Luce going in there, as the mom said, you know how she do. She didn't mean to do this, and getting the money back. Now, I haven't seen Black China. Has Black China responded and said Luce didn't bring the money back to her?
No, I think it's just been her mom talking about it.
Yeah, so at that point, I can see Black China like, here, take this. Luce asking where the money go. I just this, and him going back in there and get it because the mom said she voluntarily gave it back. But what she's saying is, years later, Black China brought up, what about the 40 I gave you? And she's saying, well, Luce came back to get it. So until Black China authenticates that, yes, I really did, and the 40 he went back and got, I never seen, I got to take it like it's a toss-up.
Interesting.
Did Luce go back and get it? I'm pretty sure he did because Black China used to be out there.
Right.
But I think he went back and got it because he knew his girl was tripping. Oh, this is crazy.
Okay, can you show the screen? Okay, so this is the video of Sauce Walker and Say So P getting ran down on and shot. Or we might have.
Okay, who was that on the left?
A little bit too much.
Who was that? That Sauce?
I'm not 100% sure exactly.
He got hit too because Say So was stretched out behind the SUV. I seen some close-up pictures of that.
Well, this guy gets shot for sure. But that's too skinny to be Say So, right?
That might have been Sauce.
Okay.
That might have Say So was behind that.
I'm not 100% sure. There is a
They already got their identification, right?
Well, either way, the reason why we're bringing this up is because based on this video, it would appear that Rainwater might have just been making shit up when he told you that they stood over Sauce and chose to let him live because they knew who it was.
Is that Sauce on the other side of that Escalade, though?
I am not.
Because if you look at it, dude in the black right there, Sauce, if that's Sauce, the first little dude, he falls.
Okay, the surveillance video shows 2 gunmen exiting a white Dodge Charger and then approaching a black Cadillac Escalade before firing shots while another suspect lags behind near the vehicle. One person, presumably Sauce Walker, can then be seen running away. The assailants then get back into their vehicle before driving off. So I guess
let's go back to
given that. So this is the car that contains the shooters, and then the Escalade right here. See, that's why this guy being like, oh, okay.
See, look, stop right there. I believe that's Sauce. See, right there by the passenger door.
Right here.
Yeah, that's Sauce. Because the other dude is dead behind him.
Right.
I think the dude right there, look, because dude in the red, he goes to the back of it. See, look. So if that's the case, dude right here did stand over Sauce.
Okay.
Yeah. If that was Sauce by that.
It's just weird because, like, who is this and why is he falling like that? Is this just a regular person that just got scared? He didn't get shot?
It could be. You saw the pictures of dude dead behind the SUV, right?
Oh, I didn't actually see the pictures. I seen the pictures of the holes in Sauce Walker's legs, but.
Yeah, so if that's Sauce on that side of it, then dude could have finished him.
For sure. But either way, I mean, insane situation. Like, it really feels like this would be one of the biggest. This, as well as the Yellow Beezy situation, have kind of gotten a little bit of their publicity stolen by the fact that this Rico came out at the same time, at least for us. Wait, this is a 3-second clip. That's Say So's body right there.
Say So body.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, do you feel like Rainwater misled you intentionally or no?
I don't know if he did. Okay, because listen, if that's Sauce over here running away, then that's some bullshit because wasn't nobody around him to stand over him.
Okay.
But if that's Sauce by that passenger side door, then dude in the all black was definitely standing over him.
Right. Do you see this sort of situation?
But I don't know how he would know that. Nobody's there to hear that.
Like, is Sauce Walker just living too wild?
I don't believe that was from Sauce Walker. I'm hearing that the other dude took $285,000 from somebody.
And his parents are denying that, but how the hell would they know?
How would they know? They supposed to deny it.
Yeah.
I don't believe that was for Sauce. He just happened to, be there and he was with him. And I think him flashing the money and how he been flashing it, it's already a disrespect that you took something from somebody. Yeah. So now you flashing money, saying what you got, and you're not making no attempt to communicate or pay your debt, led to this. But it looked to me like a day or so ago, and I told somebody this, I said, look, bro, that shit is right there. That's their money maker section, right?
Is that? It looks like a nice area.
No, that's right in the center of it. I literally was just there, me and R&B. When you're there, that camera system is gonna follow you everywhere you go, unless you get out into the sticks. And even then, it's gonna say, this where we lost them at. This is why they was able to track them.
Right.
You see, they got them getting out the car, mask off.
Yeah.
Because from there, just like the dude that killed, rest in peace, Dollar, in the Beverly Hills valet.
Right.
That camera systems, ATM, Ring doorbells, the cameras on the buildings tracked him to where they was able to tap dude on his shoulder at the airport. So as they getting away, it's just tracking them block by block by block.
Yeah. No, when they really want to put that shit together, it's surprisingly easy.
Yeah, you seen the clip where they had him.
I mean, when Duck got killed, they had video footage of the guys running through the stairwells in O Block, and then they had like 150 or whatever different camera angles that captured their license plates as they drove to kill him. I mean, how on earth could you ever beat something like that?
Because not only that, they're going to be able, now that they tracked them leaving, they're going to be able to track them coming in too. They're going to find that car on the come in.
Yeah, and they already found at least one of the guys. or they identified him. I don't know if they actually have.
Yeah, I seen they had a clear picture of him. Like, damn, it ain't even been 2-3 days.
Definitely. I just want to say, I'm going to end the podcast with this. Show the screen. The goat.
He lost a little weight.
Maybe a little bit. You think you should stick with the long hair? I like it. It's like a new, softer era for him.
I mean, you like it because you like men.
I do. I like Crib Mac a lot. But I just feel like the hair, when I grew my hair out, my girl said that it just made me seem so much softer, nicer, more approachable. And now she actually likes the shaved head. She tells me she wants the shaved head. Maybe I need to look a little bit harder, a little tougher. But
yeah, but you went through too much to get hair.
That's what I'm saying. And when I keep my head shaved, now that I've had the hair surgery multiple times, it's like you can see that there's just like different topography going on my dome. Like the hair follicles look a little different on the various sections of my head. So I don't think I'd want to keep it real short.
I mean, you flew like 12, 13 hours. How long was that procedure? 12 hours?
Mind-numbing process. Fly to Turkey, do a 12-hour surgery, spend 3 days in the hotel room eating the same burger over and over and over from room service because I just didn't even want to consider finding anything else, and then just fly home. That was weird.
Yeah, 24 hours of flights, 12 hours of surgery, 3 days of the same burger.
Ugh.
Nah, Leonard, you got to deal with the hair.
No, it was weak. Anyway, what do you got going on? What do we need to know about? I think we can wrap this up, right? This was a good conversation.
Yeah, man.
Free the Crips. Free all the Crips.
Yes, it's a lot going on.
I got 4 good ones behind bars right now. Crib Mac, 4 Extra, Bricc Baby, and Blueface. All guys that we've made a ton of amazing content with over the years. And they're all gone. But they're all probably coming back realistically pretty soon. Or Bricc Baby might have to go sit down at some point for a little while. But the rest of them should be home pretty soon.
I mean, the Bricc Baby situation is a little confusing too.
Yeah.
Because he's not named in the RICO.
I know.
But he's in the RICO.
They just rolled it all up together. Make it look good.
He's in the RICO.
He's their celebrity.
He's in the RICO, but he's not named in the RICO. It's crazy.
Well, he was in the criminal complaint, but now that they've actually pressed charges against Big U, he's not really implicated in any of that stuff.
He's in that.
He is.
He's named in that, committing a robbery and breaking up the money with him.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, yo, he's not named in the RICO, but he's in the RICO. So Bricc is he's skating through there.
It's going to be so funny having him presumably back on the podcast at some point, hopefully within the next couple weeks or whatever, because the reason why I hired him was because he had no filter. Now he's in a position where he absolutely needs to have a filter about a lot of stuff. But it's just going to be weird to see like how much he is willing to open up versus how much, and especially because Big U said, Luce Cannon, I don't fuck with him. Bricc Baby, I don't fuck with him.
Well, he fuck with Bricc Baby. That's cap.
Yeah, he's just saying that, I guess, for
he don't
whatever. But either way, that was just kind of like, oh, you don't fuck with him. Do you want him to act like he doesn't fuck with you? Because that will probably look quite a bit different than how he's been acting for the last few years.
If he act like he didn't fuck with him, boy, it'd been an open field. Because he was the blocker up here.
If Bricc Baby wanted to go Luce Cannon,
bro,
who knows what he knows? Probably got a story or two. Story time videos.
Oh, shit.
It's possible to imagine. But, yeah, okay. Shout out Wack 100, M22. If you enjoyed this episode, please smash the like button, drop a comment down below. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe. Go to the YouTube homepage, become a member for only $5 a month. We would really appreciate that. And, yeah, shout out to everybody who watched this. Free all the Crips. I'm going to say it once again. I might even just throw it up one time.
Listening to the family, once again, hey, I get 1,000 phone calls a day, text messages from all kind of crazy, deranged people running their narratives. You just happen to call with the right narrative for us to antagonize this dude. We didn't know that you, if you are the family that did the TMZ shit, our apologies. We had no idea the shit you was telling us was really real. If it was, we would have handled it totally different. If you're not the family, then shit, fuck you anyway. You just content. But if you are, my apologies.
Next Adam and Wack show featuring the family of Rayshawn Williams.
We'll know
where they at. Pull up.
We'll know who they are. TMZ, I hear did it, so we should be seeing it soon.
Okay.
At least we'll be able to get a visual on who's who.
Let's get into it. Free the Crips. No John Burr. Adam and Wack. We out.
We out.